Okay. Joanne listened to the calls to send the cards out, and she can't be with us this morning. So we have Joanne, we have Ruth from Peach Foundation, who's doing our article, and we have our fashion model, Paula Fiscal, who does the grants, and we have those on the newsletter. And next we have Dr. Gloria Dinkins. And Gloria has been with us for a long time, and she is in Oakland, correct?
Correct.
Gloria is in Oakland. Gloria imbued the city of New York to make one of our members that was in New York. Made it September 6th, I think it is. Made it a holiday to celebrate. It's called Jill Dubriel's Day. And Gloria called the city, the New York, where we were doing the event, and called the city, and they were so inspired by what we were doing and what Jill had done. And they made it her holiday to celebrate. So Gloria calls that, she's very brilliant and really great to talk to. She does counseling and connected to lots of nonprofits and make a lot of difference for people. You're supposed to smile when I say that, Gloria. There you go. Thank you for that.
There we go.
Yeah, and then we have Marion. And Marion is Marion is in wait, oh, there you went. Oh, somebody, it changed places. I was looking for you. Marion is in Arizona, and she's our VP of marketing, and she does the graphics and the newsletters and the work with members with their books and the covers of their books and editing. And she has done editing for some of the top companies in the world and marketing. And she's a really good friend too. She's fun to work with. Then we have Dr. Marcia Canton, who's sitting in the tree right now. The background.
Beautiful tree.
Yeah, it is. And she worked for the San Francisco State University, and she's an author, and she has a program for mentoring, and she's a mentor to my granddaughter. And my granddaughter, I think I share with everybody, just is on the dean list. Just got on the dean list in physics.
Wow.
Yeah, astrophysicist.
Oh my gosh. Brilliant.
So I thank you for that. And she's a key person helping us with our program, with the education program in New Orleans, with the schools that we're working with. I'll get a lot of information from her brilliant brain. And then we have Janet Jett, who is working with Love Never Fails with human trafficking. They have an event coming up too, April 6th, a fundraiser, and it's in Danville, correct? Janet?
Unmute, Janet.
Yeah, the event, your event is in Danville, California?
At the Black Hawk Museum. Sorry, I'm at an outreach, so I'm outside today.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
for
it's at the
being
Black Hawk.
Black Hawk, yeah, in Danville on April 6th. That's so awesome. They do such great work. They have a whole team. And Vanessa is the founder. Vanessa couldn't be on, so Janet is on in her stead. Thank you for doing that, Janet. Taking the time.
Oh, yes, of course.
Pardon?
No problem.
You're on mute, Janet.
I think what's happening, connection's bad. Sorry.
That's
Thank you.
okay.
My pleasure.
Got it. And then we have Carletta. Jackson Lane. Coletta is on the board of every major major uh major nonprofit in the city of San Francisco, and her mom have their own foundation, Sojourner Truth, that her mom founded. And we found, if for those who don't know, Coletta mom was the first Black woman who founded a bank. Years ago. She founded and then founded another bank. And I may have mentioned that before, but I was so inspired by that. And Coletta deals in mental health, human trafficking, domestic violence. She's on the board for everything. And was former president of the San Francisco Mental Health. So she is active in her church. She's always doing something. I'm just so proud of her. And she's doing our newsletter soon, upcoming in May and June, I believe. And so anyway, then we have Connie. Connie is in Florida. There you are. Well,
There
we
she
can
is.
see you. We can
We
see
saw
you
you.
fine, Connie. When
You can
put
see
your
me.
camera-
You can see me.
Yeah,
Well, we could for a second there.
yeah, put
Oh.
your camera back on.
I have it on. Oh, wait a minute. It went off. This
It went
thing.
off.
That's
not
okay. I'm
used-
sure you're.
Oh,
I'm sure
no,
you're
now we
brilliant.
can see you.
Okay,
No,
don't do
right now,
anything.
Connie, just
There you
stay where
go.
you are.
We can see
Now we
you.
can see you. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, we can see you.
We can see you
Is there
fine.
any?
I'm
Is there any
sorry if
shade
we
at
look
all?
sideways.
Huh?
We are
No,
happy. We are
Go
just
back where you
happy.
were.
Okay.
There
Okay,
you
Just stay where
go.
you are. Don't move. Don't move.
All right.
So,
So Connie is in Florida, and Connie has a nonprofit for veterans, a village for them also, housing, and
We're planning a village, so
planning a
yes.
village.
Yeah, but
And
it's
deals with veterans and
mental
she is-
health.
yeah.
Mental health
Yeah,
and
Alright.
and
really.
environment. So we wanna help with an app that will also end up helping seniors, foster kids. It's a way to help with anxiety, depression, and things like that. So this is something that's near and dear to my heart, and Marion has been a big help recently with some great suggestions. So
of
thank you.
course.
Yeah.
Now I can see you.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. The progress.
Yes, I have done everything for the last 10, 12 years on a cell phone. So this is my first laptop.
Good job. Good job.
I'm not against technology, but it's just that my brain has so many other things to learn. So, but it's convenient to have a cell phone that works. But a young man at Best Buy actually showed me how to put everything I have on my cell phone onto the computer. So it really is like mind-boggling. And
Yeah.
I've always done Apple, but this is not Apple. It's the other kind, I guess. But anyway, I like it very much. I have never seen you all in living color like this.
Oh, wow. It's the first time.
Yes.
That's awesome.
You
You're
call
not
me
a little tiny picture.
if you get stuck, Connie, on anything in Windows, you call me.
Oh, thank
Right?
you.
You
He
bet.
even put the manual for the Windows on my computer. He
No.
put so many things on, and he spent like 2 hours with me at Best Buy. It was
Wow.
That is so
lovely.
great.
Yeah, 19 years old.
That's
Wow.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get to the article. Ruth, what inspired you about the word imbue?
Well, I did not pick up that word.
I know Marion
Marion
did, but
helped me did. I just told her what I want to say. And because all the vocab I have is all very easy vocab. So this is a big word for me. So, but she did a great job. I thank you, Marianne.
Of
So
course.
I told her what I feel from the bottom of my heart, because this refugee town Mysore project is my #1 baby now. So I'm like thinking of it. How do I change? How do I help them? Because this is very challenging for me. It's different from what I have been doing in the last 23 years. In the last 23 years, I've been helping the children in the remote area in China. But that was a stable country, okay? It's corrupted, but it's stable, okay? But when I'm dealing with Mysore, which is a refugee town, 80% of the people escape from Myanmar. In the beginning, maybe for genocide reason, racial reason, and in the last few years is for the war, okay, to escape from the war. So the children I will be working with and I'm working with, they experience nothing but running around to escape from the war.
Right.
Okay, in addition to the poverty, okay, but that is very different when your daily life is to escape from the bomb or to look for your parents, because people are hiding. That is different from you stay put in the poor village in China. Okay, so I try to think how I can help them, not only to provide them with education. I need to provide them with a dream. I mean, this group of children, they have no dream. I mean, you cannot blame them. So the analogy I use is when you want to tell people, oh, you can build a dream, you are so good, the words are very empty. It's like you try to tell the blind, oh, how beautiful the color of the rainbow, okay? Or you try to tell the deaf how beautiful the Mozart music is. You can describe all day long the beautiful color of the rainbow or the music to the blind or the deaf. They are not going to get it. They are not. So for me to tell the children that, oh, you can dream. You can dream. That's very empty. So what we want to do is we want to do something more concrete. Okay. We do the English summer camp with them for 1 week, and we will bring 25 volunteers. Last time I told you guys, I'm short half of it. I need 24, but I only have 12. Now in 1 month, since we just spoke last time, the number doubled. Now I have one too many. I have to figure out how to do with that.
Yeah, on the last call,
Great.
Marion said
Praise God.
that you will have them. And so thank you for sharing, because I know your face was frustrated, and Marion said, no, just look at it as it's done. You're going to have it. And I'm so proud of you.
I'm just so
your
happy.
face was
I'm
like,
so happy.
Get these, like that.
Yeah, I talk to everybody I run into. I need volunteers. Okay.
That's so great.
I think God,
now you have
hears
one
me.
on a waiting list. That's beautiful.
Yes, and God say, just give it to this woman. She just nag on me all day long. I cannot stand it. Just give it to her.
You're persistent.
Yes, not only
and committed.
Many. Last week, last week, somebody sending $20,000 to do the summer camp. We need 15,000 for the food. Okay. And now I have 5,000 too much. I'm going to set up small libraries in the local community, Children
Yeah.
have no books to read. So
Wow.
I'm just very happy. So we're gonna do concrete plan, holding hands with the children and the teachers. Don't forget the teachers. They are with the children, 24/7. We just there a few times a year. So we don't have the impact on the children as much as the teachers. And we are going to educate the teachers. Okay.
Yeah.
We are want to tell the teachers to imbue on the children, because the teacher, don't
Inspire
forget,
them. Yeah. And
they are refugees themselves too. Okay. They lost hope. They
yeah.
probably have dreamed the past. Okay. Most of them are college graduate and they escape from Myanmar to avoid the war.
Yeah, because of you. That is that is imbuing.
Yeah.
If I could say that.
Viewing.
That
That's
So I'm
so
gonna work with the teachers. We are
Yeah.
paying for the salary. Before this school KKB, when I first met them, 26 teachers are making $0, zero. And why? Because the school cannot afford it. The school is near bankruptcy. And
Yeah.
and I asked the principal, I said, why you guys work for free? He
Yeah.
said, for idealism, for their idealism. They're ideal to their children. And that's really inspired me. So that's when we step in and pick up all the salary for the 26 teachers, so they can stay long term. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that 26 teachers will be working for free the rest of their life. No, many of them will leave. Sooner or later, they need to eat. Okay. So for now, the turnover rate is very small, very small, only about 10%. Okay. So imbue. So I think it doesn't take much, okay, based on my experience in China. Because imbue is inspire or permeate, okay,
Yeah.
that's like a very slow, slowly penetration, based on my experience with the children in China. 7 days.
Yeah.
Can
Can you see
change.
the Ruth, can you see that you not only changed the life of 17,000 kids, but you changed their families and all the
Yes.
people around them?
Yes,
That
yes. I did
you
a
don't
little
know how
calculation.
many people.
Okay,
that
about every child will carry 20 family members on their shoulder. Chinese children, once they make it, the first thing they would do is take care of their parents, their grandparents, their uncle, and blah, blah, blah. So I calculated in a very conservative way, every child carry a burden of 20 family members. So you do the math of 17 times 20. And I'm not even counting of the offspring of the children's
You're
children.
changing futures. That's
right,
correct.
because once this poverty chain is broken on this generation, it will be forever broken.
That's right. And you would stand for that. So let's give our hand, everybody.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
The difference that
the
she
pleasure
made
is all mine.
with so many, just the and so we have 2 more people that have joined. Ruth, hi. Haven't seen you in a while. No, I've talked to you. How you doing? Sitting on a San Francisco bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge.
Don't jump. Careful.
And Ruth is here with us in San Francisco.
Right. I am definitely in San Francisco. I just returned from a series of trips, and I'm glad to be able to be here today.
I am so happy to see you because I know you didn't think you were going to make it. So it's great to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
I just
welcome.
got back from South Dakota.
Wow.
Okay. Great. And then we have Madeline. Madeline is also in the Bay Area. What city are you in, Madeline?
Um, hi, hi, Valerie. I'm in Roseville, but on Saturdays I travel every
Okay.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm on my way to
remember that.
Cupertino just at this time to
Cupertino,
work.
okay.
Yeah, to work with the horses and the kids. So,
Oh, wow.
but yes,
Yeah.
I'm living in Roseville now and loving it.
That is so great.
Mm.
So Madeline started a foundation that she turned over to her daughter because she's taken on doing something a little different, but she still works with her daughter, healing mainly kids, but healing people with trauma with horses. I heard that's really effective. So thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a blessing.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Mm.
So the word of the month is imbue. Marion, could you do the meaning of it for them
Yes.
so they could catch up?
You bet. It's to inspire or permeate with a feeling or quality.
So we just, Ruth wrote the article. She just shared about her project, and she's inspired 17,000 kids and all of their families with generations to come who were in refugees running from the war. And she imbued them to let them know they could dream, they can have a life, which they weren't looking at. So we just thank you, Ruth, for all that you've done and all that you're continuing to do. So I want to call on Carletta. Carletta, you look like a judge.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That's what
I
I
know
must
you're
be
an
that
attorney,
lawyer.
but you look like a
I
judge.
tell you, that's
Yes.
a lawyer in me.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say, my heart is just overwhelmed by the work that's being done for the refugees. So, as she was talking about the dream, my other nonprofit is Saving the Dream. It's foster care, adoption, and mental health services. And it's a spinoff from Sojourner Truth Foster Family Service Agency. That inspiration to inspire is paramount. And I'd also like to say with Connie, I am the immediate past president of the San Francisco Mental Health. I'm sorry, immediate past president of the San Francisco Behavioral Health Commission, which was formerly the San Francisco Mental Health Board. I've been working on that for over 10 years, and my specialty also is with human trafficking, and I have worked with Love Never Fails. I know Vanessa. What I want to say to Valerie is PWIC is so powerful because we need to know and to encourage all of us around our philanthropy and that willingness to serve, to do whatever we can for the underserved, the at-risk family. And we're living in times right now where it's so critical for us to keep this democracy. So I'm coming with a heavy heart. I also am the first vice president of women's ministry at Third Baptist Church, which is an historical church for African Americans in San Francisco for over 107 years. So what my point is to you is that we all have challenges, and as she was begging for volunteers, and we have the similar situations. And after hearing, it's always been my heart to help Haitian refugees, and so the successes that have been before us can help us
to expand our footprint. And so just wanted to say, saving the dream, the reason why I chose saving the dream is because all children have a dream. And all of us right now, we have a dream that may or may not have been fulfilled. And to be able, the work that I do with the children, they're African American and African diaspora. And the critical part about that is letting them to know when they look in the mirror, which I'm sure this is true with Asian children as well, is to know that our differences in terms of culture that's what God intended. And that all of us have a beautiful image that should be protected. And for our children, as she talked previously, not only the children that she touched, but the families that they were connected to.
That's right.
And then the next generation to take them out of poverty.
Yeah.
That is critical because all children should have that opportunity to pursue their dream.
Yes.
And so when we start our program, what we do, we talk to our children about what was your dream before anybody told you you couldn't have it.
That's right.
That could be a family member. Our girls are from 12 years old from middle school through high school. I won't go into the full detail, but when she also talked about that, she got a check for $20,000. I pray that the work that we do someone will see that importance because we do need help. But after they talk about that dream, then what I do is we do everything to give them the examples of other people of color who have actually fulfilled that dream so that they know that this can be a reality and that you can't allow anyone to tell you that you don't have a right to the best because that's what God has intended. So I don't want to create a sermon. Thank you.
It's sure appreciated, Judge. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Coletta. I wanted to say this quickly, and I think I shared it on the last call. When I went to Kenya, and we adopted an orphanage and school there. And the kids were in ragged. I mean, they didn't have shoes and they were in ragged uniforms, torn, the sweaters torn. And they all sat on the ground. And I told them, you can have whatever you want. It doesn't matter if your parents, have passed. It doesn't matter, if you don't even know who your parents are, because a lot of them, they're runaway kids and their parents died of AIDS. And I say, you can have anything. I say, God put you on this earth and gave you gifts and talents. And they looked at me like, what? And so I started asking them what they wanted to be. One, they wanted to, one little boy said, teacher, astronaut, attorneys. And so they were so excited. The girls were drummers and they started beating the drums and all the kids are going. They were dancing and it was like they had no clue. So I can identify with you, with Ruth, with what you said. The kids are running around trying to escape war and you saying, you got a dream. They're going like, what? They go, what? And then you're teaching them, not just saying it, but continue the work. So thank you for that. Dr. Marcia Canton, you work with mentorship.
Yes.
And could you say a little bit about that and what inspired you this morning with the word imbue?
Okay. For me, imbued is past, present, and future. I was imbued when I was in school in an all-white city in Jersey City, New Jersey. We were number one in the city, in the whole state, United States in drugs. That was our claim to fame. I used to walk over drug addicts to get to school every morning. And the teachers were not very supportive of the young African American students who were in the school. So I often felt ignored, but I knew that I was smart because my father and mother told me that. And so I believed them. And so they imbued me with their knowledge and their encouragement. They encouraged me every day to go to school. Don't ever quit. My father would have signs all over the house. Don't quit. You can do it. So I got a lot of support from my family. They imbued me with that. So I took that and went with that. I finished high school. I went to college through many difficulties, but my father was able to find a school for me that I could go to, and I graduated. But I always had someone along my path saying, you can do it. I believe in you and I know you can do it. So that's why mentoring has been so important to me, is a way to imbue others, to let them know this is not um, a society in which you can do anything you want. It's a stratified society, but you can do it. We acknowledge that there'll be some oppression, there'll be some racism, there'll be some hard times, but don't stop. Don't ever quit. We have people whose shoulders we're standing on who did it. They serve as great role models for us to move forward. So I keep that in mind, and that's what I'm doing with mentoring now. I'm just paying it forward. I'm telling students, I did it. This is what I went through. You can do it too. So I try to find out what their passion is, what it is that they
Yeah.
want to do in this world. And then we shape the passion into their college, into what they're doing. We shape their passion into their profession, which way they want to go. And it gives them a clearer vision of what they want to do in life. So I think imbued is a powerful word. And I think it's something that you do with PWIC all the time. Watching all of you are role models and seeing the kind of work that you do all over the world. So that's imbued for me.
That's awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you.
So, Carol, I'll call on you next. Our word is imbue, inspiring people. And I know that you inspired so many people, and the people I'm really touched by that you working with or have worked with in Afghanistan. Because I know that those women and children are uneducated, and then you have made a difference. What inspired you, or what imbued you to work with that community?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to comment on my Afghanistan program. Unfortunately, for the last 2 years, ever since the Americans pulled out of Afghanistan, there has not been a running program in Afghanistan. We were imbued with fear of the Taliban and did not have the opportunity to risk our teachers' lives by continuing the school, and more importantly, even to risk the lives of the little kids, because our Wind of Hope school was designed for kids between 3 and 7 years old. So at some point we closed the schools, schools plural, and the teachers and their families fled to the main city of Afghanistan, which is Kabul, and that's where they remain. But in the last month, actually, in the month of March, we got better news from the US State Department saying that the applications we had made for the teachers and their families to come to the US as refugees and seek asylum here had been not approved, but that they were on a list, basically, where they could possibly get be extracted from Kabul, from the airport in Afghanistan, and wind up in Doha, which is another little country in the Middle East. And there they would be processed and they would possibly get to come to the US. Now, when I inquired as to how long that would take, how many days, weeks, or months, they said up to sometimes it takes years. So we're not very enthusiastic or feeling very happy about that, but we're more happy than we were, um, I would say 6 months ago, when we were fighting just to get on the list. So I am imbued with gratitude to all the other ladies on this call, particularly the those that are in direct contact with school programs. I am completely convinced, as I have been since my first trip to Afghanistan, that the education of girls and women is the answer to the avenue to that which imbues all advancement in these countries where they have not yet achieved prosperity and fully educated populations. So that's my take on it. I wish I had better news, but hopefully there will come a day when I will come to you and say, here, this is my teacher from Afghanistan. This is, I don't want to say their names, but this is somebody who has participated in the Wind of Hope School.
That's beautiful.
I saw, yeah, thank you. And thank you, because you have made a difference, you know, and it is a process and we go through changes. And just so proud of the difference you made in the lives of all the people you've touched, and all of the, you know, with going to jail to fighting for people. And then wrote a book about it. That story needs to be known worldwide.
Well, I should also say, Valerie, I just came back, as you know, from a trip, and the first half of that trip was to Louisiana to attend the memorial service for one of our freedom riders, one of the 1961 freedom riders, whose name was Claude Liggins, passed away in actually in Los Angeles. And this was the memorial service put on by his sister and other relatives in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And I had never been to Lake Charles. It's been a long time since I've been in the South. It was very interesting, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And from there, I went to South Dakota, where an African American friend of mine wound up, she being, in her words, probably the only African American in South Dakota, which is why she can't get her hair braided. She has to fly to Las Vegas, which is the closest, cheapest airfare, in order to get her hair braided, because there's nobody in the entire state of South Dakota that knows how to do it. as she said, there are more cows in South Dakota than there are people, and among those people, there are not almost any African Americans. So I've just come back from that experience, which was very gratifying and a lot of fun. And so I'm back now, looking forward to another trip to do something somewhere in perhaps a different mode.
That is so great. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, Paula, I'm going to call on you next. I want to know what imbued you to want to help our women with the grants and get behind them.
Okay. Well, the big reason is that as women, we have had a lot of discrimination in venture capital. We hardly get any of those big bucks. When we write grants, the grant writing process is a grueling process, and there's rarely any help from anywhere to learn how to do those grants and get those grants. Some of the large corporations since COVID have begun to emphasize women in business and women doing nonprofits. So there are grants that are available from large companies that we really don't hear about. But I'm a member of a grants app, and they send me periodically all kinds of opportunities, I call them. But also in your Google, in your Gmail, you can set up alerts for yourselves wherever you are. You can say, I want New Orleans grants, I want Racine, Wisconsin grants, or I want grants that have to do with health, or grants that have to do with trafficking. So there's a way to filter in the grant world what you want and what you'd like to get. And it does take some experience and some practice to learn how to do that. But the monies are there, especially smaller amounts of money, like 10,000, 20,000. But lately I've seen that there are more opportunities on a local level. For example, in San Francisco, they have a program where they give someone that has a brick and mortar operation advertising dollars, architect dollars, opportunities to open up storefronts. So those are available. And then the other big deal is Alice. It's called Alice. And they put a list together of all of the grants available for women. I think that was in last month's Marion's list. And so what I feel the most is most important is that when you begin to get some of these, what I call these conditional grants means that you have to perform the work before they give you a grant. You have to get the work done before they give you a grant. And San Francisco has a wage subsidy program called Jobs Now. And this is what they do. They have thousands of young people, and some not so young, that are looking for work, that have been discriminated against due to their height, due to the color of their hair, due to the age of the person. And right now, the tech companies are laying off people en masse. Most of the people that are being laid off are us, women, minorities. And so there's a big crash, I think, already from the technology world. But yet, if you look at some of these high-tech companies, they've got grants they're giving out to people.
Yeah.
So usually what happens is people get so busy looking for a job, any job, they don't care what kind of a job it is. And yet there are grants that are available even to help you set up a new program to help people find jobs. So it's like a big circle and everything's connected, like the insurance industry, all connected. So this is the one thing that I would emphasize is that it's tough to to qualify for some of these grants, like the San Francisco grant program that I'm in, it took 4 months and long rows of bank account statements and long rows of general liability insurance, additional insured operations. But now I have 3 employees that the city gives me back the money every month for the employees that I hired. So it was worth the additional time, the additional effort. So then that's another story about my working with people that are looking for work, any job. I've gone through like 10 or 15 people, and when they find out they really have to work, they quit. What's going on? I think that the whole generation, people, millennials and the Xers and the Jenners, they're living at home. They're still being coddled. We over coddled a whole generation of young people, and it's a surprise because they're missing a lot of things that I think women like ourselves could be sharing. Things like common sense. If we started a school called Common Sense, we would have a lot of newbies in there asking all kinds of questions, trying to learn what that mystery trait is. So common sense and the word logical, chronological, anything with the word logical, it totally confuses a whole generation of people. So I think that it's important that we maintain our patience with a lot of the generational people that we are hiring or working with, but also it affects our volunteers, people that volunteer in our nonprofits. They come with a high level of expectation, and they say that they're ready to write a book or they're essayists, and then when you actually ask them to put together a Word document, they don't know what the word header and footer means. So my point is that in the old days, because we're all older, like Carlotta and me and Carol Ruth and a couple of us other women, we are in a technology world where most of us are much more computer techies than maybe some of our own kids. And then we're asked to bring in volunteers that are like babies, or bring in employees that are like babies. I mean, I wish there was a way that we could all get together, the PWIC, and write a grant just to introduce people, how to really truly write a resume, how to really truly get your skill level to a point where everybody wants to hire you and everyone is encouraged by seeing you. Maybe more volunteer programs that we could get paid to put the programs together and work with 100 students at a time to work with them. So there's a lot of opportunities is what I'm trying to imbue here, is that it's the opportunities that are there that sometimes we need a light to shine on them.
Got it.
Discover them.
That is so great. Okay, thank you so much, Paul, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
To support all of us. Janet, with Love Never Fails.
Hi. Okay, sorry, it was kind of cutting out off and on, so I heard only part of what you guys were saying. But I guess what inspires me, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, why did you get inspired to work with Love Never Fails?
It actually was just a God thing that I wasn't looking for it. I was actually getting ready to just take a nominal job. And one of the ladies at my church that I was volunteering cleaning the dishes with her after a pastor appreciation, she said, come work for us. And I said, what's us? And I knew they were doing ministry because I have about 5 people in my church that are part of Love Never Fails. And so that's how I ended stumbling into it, because of all the volunteer work I've done with youth, with Young Life, with Morning Star Outreach, with having my own independent youth group in Oakland for many years. So I had the background to work for the youth house, and that's where I ended up first. But because I had background in doing fundraising with my husband in the San Francisco Teen Challenge, I have transitioned into development and fundraising and now the church coalition manager. So my part is bringing in different churches to support what Love Never Fails is doing, which is really fun because I'm just kind of connecting with everybody that I know or anybody new that I'm meeting. But I think what really inspired me to do the kind of work that I've always been doing, working with kids, is that when I was really young, I was one of those kids that was walking to school, walking by the drug dealer's house and going by the corner store and the street where all the cars were left that were stolen and left in Oakland. And one of the churches in that area, which ironically I ended up doing youth group there for many years, they would have people come from the elementary school that I went to. They would take us for release time. And I still remember Mrs. Peterson saying, trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus, but to trust and obey. And then also she taught me Isaiah 1:18, though your sins were, as scarlet, they'll be white as wool. Paraphrasing. But anyways, so at the age of, so I knew the youth leaders really cared about me. I didn't really connect with the kids. I was kind of like too young, and the other ones were really, they were just really, it was really scary. I mean, I had some really crazy things at the hands of older youth kids. So, but I went, because of those youth leaders, I knew that God had a plan and purpose for my life. And so I always knew when I just wanted to work with kids. And then when I was I was 15 and a half and didn't want to live anymore, but I didn't want to take my life because I knew that I would stand before God one day and he might show me, hey, this would have been your life, kind of thing. Also, I was afraid if I took my life that I would be going to hell. So, but it was because of youth leaders that, I had that instilled in me. And so I always I never forgot what it was like to be, an inner city kid that grew up with single parent, parent house. My dad was in a different town. My mom was at work all the time. And I had a raging alcoholic for a brother. So I was always trying to fight for my life, kind of thing. And so I never forgot what it was like to be in that situation. And so I've always tried to be there for kids and share with them. So I do Young Life at one of the high schools in Oakland, at Skyline High School. I do that every Friday at lunchtime. And then I do a Morning Star Outreach summer camp program that I do for kids that are 11, 12, 13 that go up to camp for a week that normally wouldn't be able to afford a camp. And it's just a very basic evangelistic camp with a lot of fun. And everybody gives their own personal story, the counselors, and it really touches the kids. And it's just an amazing week. So I've been doing that every year. This will be my 30th year. And then with Love Never Fails, I'm just in that place where I'm trying to do whatever I can to help my manager because I just absolutely love her. And then my executive manager, Vanessa, also. And I'm just learning so much. And I really appreciate being a part of everything. And so I just try to come up with whatever I think is a good idea for the future for things that maybe we're not doing or just learn, what's going on. There's so much going on in Love Never Fails that I don't know all of it. But I'm just a part of all the big, the functions that we have, like the gala, the Freedom Walk, anything that has to do with events I'm a part of, and just helping to spread the word so that people can get the help in the safe houses that we have and have productive lives. And after I leave this outreach today, I'll be going to a home warming party for one of our survivors that graduated, and then going on to a outreach tonight in Oakland, and we'll be in Oakland on the streets until about 10 tonight. So that's kind of what I do. I'm not sure that answered the question, but
Yeah,
just
it
inspired.
did. From what you're saying, you just been imbuing. Am I saying it right, Marion?
Imbuing.
Imbuing you know, from your childhood. And everywhere you go, you're just, you know, lighting people up and making a difference. And wherever you're needed, you go. So thank you for being that angel, changing
you know,
lives and making.
Thank you, Valerie. I wanted to say one more thing. You know, I was really at risk at when I was 17. I got into a relationship and I thought it was love, and it wasn't. Pretty soon my time was not my own. So I have that sense of what could have happened to me, but by the grace of God, it didn't. But I was in that relationship for like 5 years and used every penny of my money to try to make this guy happy that was a crack addict, and I didn't even know it. So I realized that I'm working with people now that are at that place where they don't know the risk that they're at, you know, that is out there. And so some of it I'm able to see because I've been there. And and also God gave me a dream about, if this were my daughter, what would I do? And you know, I would fight with everything if it was my daughter. So even if I wouldn't do it for myself, how I was at 17 to 22, I would definitely do it for my daughter. So thank you.
That is so great. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for making a difference.
I had a question for Jen. When is the Freedom Walk?
September 21st. And the camp is July 20th. If there's any counselors anywhere in the Bay Area that would like to be a counselor, I need counselors very badly. Like,
yeah, you should have a talk with Ruth and how she got. Oh, I'll connect the two of you.
Yes, I do need help getting counselors. It's always hard to get kids signed up. You don't have your staff.
Ruth now have
solid.
a waiting list, so you have to talk to her. I'll connect the two of you.
Thank you.
Well, I can answer to you right now. I just anybody who run to me just have to pull out with my neck, and that's all. Yeah, I have no magic. You know, I don't believe I think somebody up there is doing this. You know, it's not me.
You have a lot of faith.
It's your purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're
no, I don't have faith because I'm not a religious person. I don't have faith. I'm not a Christian. But things in the last 23 years, things just kind of fall into places, you know. But so I should be very relaxed, but I'm not. Every time there's a crisis, I will all work up with it, you know. But it was just fine, you know, for the last 23 years. So I think, you know, it's good to be always kind of worried. Don't think that, oh, it will work out. I think my attitude is like, you know, I'm just going to do the best I can, exhaust my last drop of energy, and after that, I'm just going to leave it to God. Okay.
Yeah, that's inspiring.
That's my attitude.
Well,
so do that,
Ruth,
Janet.
whether you know it or not, that is faith. You just described the whole thing of faith.
Oh, that is faith. Oh,
that
okay,
is faith. So you got it.
You got faith.
Now you know.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, Gloria. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
You know, whenever I talk to you, you are so inspiring. And you've done so much you know so much too about helping other people and in mental health and in all of those arenas. You have so much wisdom when I talk to you, you know, things going on with when some of our members need help and my family, you know, my daughter and the grandkid. You have so much wisdom and it comes from inside of you in your heart. So what imbues you to help other people to, you know, it just like flows out?
Okay, if I were Sister Littlefield, I would say, look at Jesus.
Yeah.
You amaze me. I don't know how you find so many good things to say about me, because you have experienced the last 5 years or so, I've gone through tremendous physical, emotional challenges. So I've kind of been underground, but coming out.
Mhm.
Jessica,
I want the
love
world
it.
to know.
And what you were talking about, that word, how do you say it? Imbue?
Imbue,
Mhm.
imbue.
Imbue. I see that in everybody on this call. I think it's in our DNA. I really do. And as far as what you were saying, I was thinking as people were talking about my experience, I am the oldest daughter who was surrogate mother in a segregated South, decades after segregation was outlawed, but you know, the South is slow to change. And I was mother to people before I had children. At the age of 13, my youngest brother was calling me mom. And I had to constantly correct, boy, ain't your mama, your sister.
Mhm.
But what happens through church, through because you know, during the 60s and 70s, we relied on God a lot just to make it through church and through being not forced, but because of my position in the family to be a caregiver. This is what happens. You learn and in the segregated South, to encourage those around you to keep going in spite of what they're seeing and what they're experiencing. So at church, they say that I have the gift of exhortation. But I think it's a trained thing because of environment and because of family position. But whether it is or not, it came from God. And I notice sometimes I be wanting to slap myself because bad stuff happened and the Holy Spirit will bring up a positive side to it. And I know it irks people. Sometimes it gets on my nerve, but it's something that he helps me to, and because when you just look at the negative, it can destroy you. But if you can pull a little positive out there, you can keep going, even if you have to crawl to get to where you want to go. So in the past, even though I have been like hibernating, I have been participating with some nonprofits. Like for a minute, I was with 1,000 Mothers Against Nonviolence, and that's very heavy for me. So right now, what I'm doing, and this has been fabulous. This whole hour, I haven't been with y'all, but this has been so good. I said, Lord, you play. I know that y'all thought that y'all planned this last month, but I'm telling you, Jesus planned this meeting just for me. Y'all just happen to be coming along for the ride.
Yeah.
All the things I've heard. I've begun working with a woman who is beginning to work with women in certain stages. Women who find themselves, maybe they're widowed, maybe they've lost their jobs, maybe they're going through life changes or things like that, if that word you use, to inspire them to take life in the direction that God has taken them. And I'm also working with a newly graduated PhD person. She's so excited. And she's working with youth between the ages of 13 and 16 who have suffered complex traumatic events and lived in at-risk environments. And I say 98% of them are African American. So the things I've heard today it's like, wow, this is what I'm doing. Wow, this is what I'm doing. It's so excited. And I wish that at some point in time I could connect these ladies with you. And also for the grants program, I was for a minute there counseling a woman who is trying to start up the Oakland Women's Center. And she has run into so many problems. And then I heard about somebody talking about grants. It's like, okay, this is all working out. Maybe I could connect people. So that's why I say that Thank you all for attending the meeting, even though the meeting was all about me today.
Well, God bless you, Gloria. So
Yeah,
I
thank
need to
you.
talk to you because definitely the work that around the PhD and the youth between 13 and 16, that's
Uh-huh.
what I do, the mentorship program. And all of my girls, they are suffering from complex trauma.
Well, see, that's why I was thanking you for being here.
Okay, I'll connect the two of you. And the two of you need to talk for the New Orleans program too, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to connect to them
God bless you, Gloria.
You too.
With the Oakland work.
Yeah, we came to Gloria's meeting today, so that was
Appreciate you.
so. Connie, can you tell us what imbued you to just to do the things that you're doing, to get behind other people? I know you've made a difference and making a difference with the veterans and your son. And so could you tell us what imbued you to just get started, to want to be behind other people?
Well, we've had many camps for children living in the motels, in the battered women's house, and they inspire so much. I taught school for 22 years, but I guess all of it started when I was 8, and I finally got my forever home. And but before that, I was in so many places I didn't know my last name. And so it I felt different from all the other kids, especially being in a Catholic school. When I knew I had brothers and sisters, I had even had a twin, but I would no longer had them. And then everybody else had 5, 6, 7 kids in the school, and I just felt different. But there was one girl there who just kind of watched out for me. She was much taller than I was. I was short. And if someone picked on me, man, she just stood up for me. And that was the first time I have a forever friend, someone that kind of looked after me. I remember the merry-go-round when someone tried to push me off, and she just picked him up by the collar and said, "Leave her alone." So I just feel very drawn to people that need help, and then after later on, I guess everybody knows I went to Romania after I saw the 2020 thing, and I saw there were 60,000 children in orphanages because the dictator wanted to have a big army. He was authoritarian, etc. Anyway, we ended up adopting a couple of children, and that certainly they had such severe neglect. My son was so traumatized. He was almost 6, and my daughter 4. So we definitely it was a journey, and they said he would never learn to read. Well, they had told me that when I was 8, and my adopted mom, she would read stories to me of inspirational people like Gandhi and Mother Teresa, other people, and to give me that vision that you can overcome things. And that was why I ended up becoming a reading editor for Harcourt Brace Publishing Company. And I ended up getting a degree, I ended up with degrees. Anyway, they said my son would never learn to read. And so we sold our house. We put him in the only school that we could get him into on probation. He went from 1st to 10th grade level in 2.5 years, skipped a grade. came back, refused special ed, took honors English, honors physics, honors algebra 2, and now oversees that school district's six schools in the district office for IT.
Wow.
So I don't think there is anything we can't accomplish if we have been imbued with this desire to make a difference. And that's and if you've been you know, you can't, I don't look down on anybody, because there, by the grace of God, could I have gone. I certainly could, because my mother committed suicide. And because of that, also, I had done everything I could do to learn about the brain. And when you learn about the brain, it was the thing that helped my son learn to read was not the special school so much, the learning programs. They said, you're from Florida. You need to, everybody has a sport. You're from Florida, you're taking swimming 6 days a week, 3 hours a day. He did swimming. Well, the thing they don't have in orphanages is crawling. And that's the basis for having the neurotransmitters of the brain connect permanently. And it worked. And like I said, he advanced and it turns out he's very, very, very intelligent. So I just, I think that I think we're led wherever we're supposed to go, and we have to trust that. And if we do trust that, well, you know, we can imbue children, like just getting them outdoors, getting them in nature. That alone helps children move. It helps with the brain, because the brain needs nature. And that's why our village, when it's built, we're not taking these traumatized veterans, many of them who have come from foster care and then into the service. We're taking them and we're going to keep them in the woods so they can still stay with nature, because nature imbues a sense of peace and calm and promotes mental wellness.
Wow.
So that's it. And that's my story.
And you sticking to it, huh?
Sticking to it.
All right. Thank you so much. So Madeline, are you able to talk?
Yes, I am, Valerie. And I've got to say, this has been one powerful call today. Amazing things all your women are doing. Thank you. Thank you. And God bless you all. You know, the word imbue, and it seems like all of us, it kind of started when we were little, right?
Yeah.
God threw challenges at us. We have choices. Either we feel sorry for ourselves, or, you know, we take a different path because of those challenges, or we say, wow, you know, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to take this experience and make a difference in other people's lives. And that's what we've all been doing.
Yes.
I was, did not know until just recently, but I was adopted by a very loving Latino family. And then, you know, I just kind of, in my younger years, thought I could just take on the world. I could do anything I put my mind to. And life took me on a path where I was married to 2 very abusive husbands. My children suffered child sexual abuse from one of them. Both of my grandchildren are autistic. And through all of these challenges, what happened to me is it just turned me closer to God. And that was the smartest thing I ever did, because God gave me the strength and the wisdom and the connections and the people that came into my life to start the foundation Save Our Children to fight child sexual abuse. And then horses came into my life during that time. so many things happened. My children were kidnapped, but with the grace of God and help of God, they were out of the country. I brought them back. Every challenge that got thrown to me brought me closer to God and taught me something. And it taught me forgiveness, the importance of forgiveness, because that just opened up more doors for me to do the work that I wanted to do. So what happened with the foundation is that, as you all know, with nonprofits, we're all always having to raise money, and it was very difficult. So I thought, because I'd been an entrepreneur at a very young age, owning my own restaurant, I said, I'm going to put my entrepreneur hat on, and I'm going to start a company that's going to make so much money, it's going to pay for my foundation to help all these kids. And somehow we're going to work with horses. Well, it just took me into a whole other, into an industry that is very much run by men, very challenging, the banking industry. And so I decided I wanted to help the Latino community. So that's how we created Alterna, which now we are providing virtual bank accounts, app-based digital bank accounts for refugees, for the Latino immigrants in the US, and all immigrants who are not able to get a bank account because of trust issues, they don't have social security numbers, for whatever reason, and being taken advantage of. So it's taken almost 15 years to finally launch this company. During that time, I've raised almost $9 million, all from angels.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Oops,
know.
sorry.
It's been hard.
Didn't know I was on. You can hear me.
But I wouldn't give up, and I had a team with me, Latinas. We would not give up. We were on a mission to help the Latino community, because the more that we pushed forward and learned, the more we knew that the need was so great, not only for the families here, but their families back home who were also unbanked and cash based and being robbed when they send money and killed or pick up money, and just having no power because and that's the only thing that we learned, financial inclusion. Having a bank account is the first step to get out of poverty. So we just finally launched our company, Mexican Independence Day, and we are enrolling undocumented people here in the US, and some in their 50s and 60s that have never had a bank account, because we work with trusted partners who work with them, like churches, nonprofits, employers, and we share the revenue with them. So it brings money into the nonprofits. But also, thanks to Powerful Women International Connection, we discovered that our product, which is a MasterCard product, it's a real bank account, also works for women, women and men who are victims of trafficking and domestic abuse, because they need a private financial document as a way to begin their new life, and a way to now get a job, be able to get direct deposit, receive money from organizations that are helping them. And also then that brings money into those organizations. So I want to talk with you separately, Carletta, because
Yes. Oh my God.
there's a lot we can do together. And
Ooh.
also,
Yeah,
You know what?
not just that,
I'm on
Madeline.
fire. I am on fire. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking,
Madeline, I
Madeline.
remember all this time. You
Yeah.
push it. You got it done.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
so
praise God.
okay. So I know you're too excited, but as you were talking, Madeline, I was thinking to connect you with Coletta to speak to her mom, because her mom started a bank. And the first woman to start a bank, to found a bank, and then another one. And so and I don't know that she will, but she may have some insight for you.
sure, no, definitely, we definitely need to
Yeah,
talk.
but I will connect. Let me see. Let me write down who I'm connecting. Okay, Coletta and Madeline.
And also I wanted to let Carletta know, with the program with equine therapy, the young people that mostly girls, but girls and boys, who have been trafficked have had the most success, amazing breakthrough with equine therapy. So
Yeah.
yeah, and talking about nature and being out there, you know, for kids at risk, you know, and also kids on the spectrum. My two grandkids, we threw everything at them, and they had the equine therapy. They've had all the therapy. They were nonverbal. They now, my grandson just graduated from high school, going into college. My 14-year-old autistic granddaughter has started her own business. I mean, it's all possible. It's, you know, we have the resources. We just have to work hard at it and always keep looking and researching. And that's why this group is so powerful, right? Because of the networking and how we can work together to
Yes.
do even more.
Yes.
And I wanted
Connie.
to say to Paula real quickly, Paula, I and Virginia, our new CEO, joined Latino Business Action Network that is out of Stanford University. We're going to become alumni, and so we'll have this huge network. But one of the researches that they did, because they're run by a lot of very high level CEOs, Latinos and professors, is that women, the Latino women, and this goes for all minorities, are the most aggressive going after funding and receive the least amount of funding compared to the Latino men and the Anglo men as well. So it's challenging, but it can be done.
Yeah, I'd like to be connected to. I live in an area in Oakland where there are a lot of undocumented neighbors.
Yes, yes,
around
yes,
you.
I know. Yes, would love to connect with you because we have an amazing product for them, a service, and we're able to help them establish credit through the use of our financial product, and also a way to generate revenue for themselves. So it's yeah, I'd love to talk with you.
Okay, that's awesome.
And then let me ask you, Madeline. So I have a lot of tenants. They are undocumented, and they will send me like money order. You know, that tells me they don't have a bank account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is your company? Well, I mean, how do they learn about your company?
Well, right now we're working through what we call trusted partners. Like I said, nonprofits, employers, churches, and organizations that have a direct relationship with them. They're helping them in some way, right?
Okay.
But like you could even mention it to your tenants. And we have an app, you know, that they can download and
Okay, so
and
maybe
yeah.
Valerie can kind of forward the app to me so I
Yep.
can share with
Yep.
my tenants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
send it to me,
Yeah.
Madeline, and I'll send it to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will. It's
Never
called
mind.
That'll be
Alternas
great.
y
Thank you so
Fronteras.
much.
Okay,
That will
yeah,
really
no,
help them. Yeah.
yeah, no, that would be wonderful.
Is that
Absolutely.
nationwide? Because we have a lot of undocumented people here in Florida. And not only that, we have a lot of people that have no bank account. Is that a nationwide program, or are you planning on making it nationwide?
It's absolutely nationwide.
Yes.
I would
Absolutely.
love to talk with
If
you
it's
about it. And I
Yeah.
also wanted to say the equine program is, we have the ones we're going to have our veterans, some of our veterans who will be attending. It is one of the best in the world. And
Yes.
it is the equine program has done so much to help people that have trauma backgrounds and like you said, children on the spectrum, etc. It is
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so powerful, right? And it's all energy work. It's all spiritual based.
And it's,
yeah.
being outdoors,
Yeah,
working with,
exactly.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
Where is your equine program?
Well, it's not mine, it's one of our partners, and
Okay.
it's in Claremont,
Wonderful.
Michael's Foundation. It's an incredible program, and
What
it's
Michael's state?
Foundation.
It's in Florida.
Yes,
Okay.
Claremont, Florida. But it is, it's probably one of the best I think it's the best in the country, and no veteran pays. They raise
It's
money and
free.
Yeah.
they provide it, and and they have other programs. They have everything. Oh, so many different programs. It's one of the best in the country, and it was started by a mom and dad whose son committed suicide. He was in after being at 4 deployments to over war zones. So they've done so much. They've turned that grief into helping so many people.
Yes.
Oh, wow,
It's
that's
called
beautiful.
Michael's Foundation.
Yes, it is.
Michael's
Chris Titus,
Foundation.
yes.
Yeah.
So we can look it
Yeah.
up, right? You can go on Google and
Oh,
look.
yes. Or you can contact me. But I would love to find out how to raise money because that's one of the things that we're
Well, let
working
me
on.
tell you, I want to share with you in our quest to, because we have one last round we're raising for 2 million. I was introduced to by one of our women investors to a group, and they're all they work with high net worth philanthropists, women, and they have to give away so much money every year. And so, but they're looking to possibly invest some money in Alterna as well, because they invest in social impact. But I'm going to be getting to know them better. And this is, I've always been thinking this is something that it could open up for PWIC. So just know I'm working on that.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
But
incredible, man.
yeah, this is a program that once we get the prototype, it's going to be like Habitat. We're going to replicate it. And the shipping containers we'll be using, there are 11 million of them. There's really no reason for anybody to be homeless, and they're hurricane proof, 2,000 degrees fireproof, and ours is going to be an eco village. But anyway, I thank you
Wow.
so much. You've given me a lot of hope.
All right. No, that's beautiful what you're doing. We'll definitely, I'll keep everyone up to date on this new relationship.
Thank you.
Okay, Marion, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I just have a quick question for Madeline. In hearing the fabulous things that you're doing for the immigrants, here in Tucson, where I'm at, I mean, we have 500 immigrants being dropped off every day.
Wow.
Yes, I know.
They have no hope. They have nowhere to go. They end up, in the drug camps, living on the street. And my question to you is, your program is so phenomenal. It seems as though you could reach out to every governor in every state and make it something that, all these people can be helped by.
Yes,
that-
and that, yes,
Well-
and that's what we're working on. And the thing is, there are nonprofits all over the country, like the ones we're working with in California, like El Concilio, and they're there helping these people. So they have to get a way to, and we're creating a network now through the United States Hispanic Chamber, and also Unidos US. They have nonprofits all over and chambers all over the country to reach out to them, because they're there to help them and to protect them. But some people just don't know where to go.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
you brought up a really interesting point, and I'm going to discuss this with our nonprofits.
Yeah.
Because somehow
Yeah.
there has to be an outreach program to them when they come over.
And then you need to be careful too, because you got all this blessing, right? And the political climate we're in.
Yeah.
You have to be careful who you connect with, because there's another element that would want to do anything to stop it.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, here in California, we're fortunate, right?
Right. But when you first are out,
when you go out there, it's a whole different,
it's a whole different ballgame. So we
game. Yeah.
need to be
You know
careful.
what? Yeah, and yet, just on today, we're talking about how there's such a shortage of workers.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that all these seniors that have, well, they're gonna try and cut Social Security and Medicare because they said there's not gonna be, there's not enough young people to support it. So it's really, the word needs to get out. We need workers, and
Yes.
we have a dear friend that was working at, met, he's from, let's see, I forget. But anyway, it's one of a Latin American country, and he was an accountant there, and he is working at a grocery store. He is so skilled. Another one who is an engineer. They have so many skills, and just politics is keeping them from having a work permit to contribute and then getting some money back, because they're putting in so many taxes for
Oh.
this country
Oh,
too.
yeah. And you
Mhm.
know how unfair it is? They're paying taxes. They get
Right.
ITIN numbers. They're
Uh-huh.
paying taxes. They don't get any of that money.
Zero back.
And not only
Zero.
they don't get any of that money, they're paying for unemployment. If they're out of work, they don't get any of that money. Now,
Right.
in California,
Yeah.
the governor has put up millions of dollars for storm relief for all that were unemployed because of the storms we had last year. And so got money to those families because when they can't work, there's no resource for them.
But
Except,
yeah.
what the state will do. And California is very generous, but they're not all like that.
But
Yeah.
you can put up an entire village in just a few months of shipping container homes that are 2,000 degrees fireproof. And it's just amazing. We got so many of them. So no one should be living on the streets, and no one should be in a situation where they're going to have a hurricane blow them off the island in Puerto Rico, or burn down places in Hawaii. We have designs that are, did you know that you can even use shipping containers for boat houses in Seattle? They are,
No.
and for each one that's used, it's like, it takes 30 years equivalent in the Amazon to grow the lumber needed for 20 of them to build a home. Well, we already have 11 million homes that would be very well used. And so that saves, each one saves 9.7 tons of carbon from going into the atmosphere. So they help the environment too. I was chair of the Soil and Water Conservation Board. That's very near and dear to my heart after seeing what Monsanto did to my area, and all the asthma and horrible things to the environment done years ago. Every single river, pond, and bayou had dead fish kills for a very long time because of Monsanto.
My grandfather died working in a plant of Monsanto in St. Louis.
Mhm.
Wow.
Thank you.
So what did they do? They cut the EPA funding.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't,
That's
it's
okay.
so good to be able to say what I
Say
feel,
something.
because I have to be very careful
Mhm.
here. Like you said, the
Yeah.
climate isn't very conducive to talking about some of these issues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
no.
sure, I
God
appreciate
bless you.
everybody.
God bless you.
And I'll connect you women that wanted to be connected to each other. And
We could have we could have a Facebook page, a private Facebook page just for members, if anybody would consider that.
As long as it's private.
Private, yes,
yeah,
just this group.
yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Valerie. My God, you're just such an inspiration.
Thank all of you. I just wanted to mention before we leave that if you remember the program that invited us to work with the United Nations, ask that we choose 5 areas from the 17. And so what we're going to do, we're going to start our live events again.
Okay.
And we're setting one up in San Francisco, looking at changing it the month to June, which will be focused around education. And then we've been invited by one of our members, by Marine, to do an event in Las Vegas. And then we're going to do one in New Orleans and Houston. Connie, we might even come over there in Florida, but all of them are going to be focused on one of those aspects, and we'll take everything we learn and put it in our project in New Orleans, building sustainable community. And once we get that tight and straight, then we will take that to the US and to change the education, and then we'll take that to the United Nations, keep them informed of what we're doing.
Valerie, can I say something very quick?
Yeah.
Our Green Vistas, it's based on the Blue Zone principles. There are 5 to 7 areas for longevity and well-being, and that have people, and we're almost every single principle is going to be integrated into the program. So I can share that with you, but we could really help a lot of people live happier, healthier lives with this project.
Okay.
Just if everybody went Blue Zone, I can send those to you all, but it's been around for hundreds of years. So
Oh,
Got it.
really? I never-
Valerie,
Okay.
can I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Is any one of those 5 financial inclusion?
Say that again.
Is any
Any
one of
one of
those
the 5.
Well, yeah, because I would say yes, because one of them is reducing poverty.
Yeah, that's
That-
fine.
So in order
Yeah.
to reduce poverty, we have to have
Mhm.
financial
You
education.
have to have
Mhm.
financial inclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
Do you know the 5 offhand?
I know Marion having somewhere, but let me see. I know it's
Education,
enhancing education or changing education.
reduce poverty.
Yeah, reducing inequality, health and well-being, and reducing recidivism.
Recidivism. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
recidivism. I know it was no poverty, and it must have been 6. I know it's no, because I
It's
know it
poverty.
also included building sustainable communities.
There
You
it
said
is.
something, Janet?
Building.
Human trafficking was one of your
We
Yeah,
can't
you're
hear
going
you.
in and out. We
We
can't hear
can't
you.
hear you.
Janet's having technical difficulties. She's
Yeah,
been
we can't hear you,
having-
Janet.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I can hear you now. I heard that last
Okay,
one.
sorry about that.
It's still
Yeah,
cutting
yeah, I
out.
was saying human trafficking was one of yours. I think you told me from the beginning.
Yeah.
I hope so. It looks like
Yeah,
it's 6, Valerie.
we're changing human trafficking and domestic violence. And as a whole, we have more than the 5, but those 5 that we chose, all of our projects can fit into.
And where did you see the list from the UN of 15?
The 17 goals.
Yeah. So where can I find that?
You
What
can
do you
go.
want?
You can go to the UN's website and look
Uh-huh.
up their
Yeah, and
missions.
put in
goals.
17 sustainable goals.
That's what I wanted to know. 17.
Yeah, 17 sustainable goals.
Sustainable.
Yeah.
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 I do know that financial inclusion is one of those 17.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we will be doing that. We'll have do one of the events around that too, Madeline.
Okay.
So,
Great.
thank you everyone for being on the call. I know we went a little over, and Marion, you have something?
Well, yeah, I got skipped for.
Oh, that's right.
I got skipped for the imbue and how it affects us, etc. If you don't mind, I'll
Yeah,
take a
you can share quickly. Thank you for that.
I will, real quick. Basically, you know, we have all gone through situations where we have had traumas, whether they're physical, whether they're emotional. And I applaud all of us for being the humanitarians that we are and wanting to aid humanity with having a better existence on this planet. You know, with the word imbue, I know it's new for a couple of us, but basically, you know, we are divine beings. First off, we are divine beings having a human experience. We are not a human body with a soul. We are divine. So, Ruth, you may say that, you know, you may not have a great relationship with God, but guess what? When you're sitting back asking for support, you're asking God to work all those miracles to bring it together so that you have enough volunteers for your event. Connie, same thing with you. You know, you have all the support people, and it's hard when you're dealing with people who have so much trauma that you can't bring them out of it.
Yeah.
However, I applaud Madeline for all of her work in the financial industry and also with the horse, you know, the horse equine therapy. My granddaughter is in the state of Florida because she just hit the autistic spectrum. She's 13. And my 7-year-old grandson is also autistic, only has spoken one word in his life. And they live 20 miles from you, Connie.
Mm.
And my daughter will not open her mind to help us imbue the solutions that we have for her.
Yeah.
And it seems as though one of you said, you know, the callings that we have are in our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
We are called by God, and whether it's from our environment, our circumstances, how we grew up, the traumas that we went through, and yeah, maybe we didn't have any dreams, but you know what? If God has given us the ability to ask for what we need.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the funny thing is, a lot of times we just say, well, I need this or I need that. How about if you start out and say, thank you, God, for the 11 million shipping containers. Thank you, God, for the women that you have already given me for the July conference. Thank you, God, for the women that you've given me that help me through every day because I am in so much pain, I can't function. I'm doing this generically for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And with Ruth, when you were saying how, you know, you try and bring it together and put out the callings for everybody, you know what? Once you put out those callings for everybody, let go and let God.
You take care.
Yeah.
Let go and let God. And know that what you focus on multiplies.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So if you are focusing on a need, I need, no, God responds by us saying, thank you, God, for that $4 million grant.
Mhm.
You don't
Yeah.
say, I need. So
Good.
try and use your words because God is the word. God
Yeah.
is the spirit, you know, so we are divine beings connected with God and have our voices so that we
Right.
can not only imbue dreams and visions into our children who desperately need it. Because as we were saying, kids don't even want to work today. They just want to live in the basement. We have a huge problem. There's lots, you know, I know we're addressing a lot of problems, but
Yeah.
I just say thank you so much to everybody for your work. Don't stress about things, lift them up, let go, and let God imbue every area of your life so you are inspired and you in turn can inspire everyone else. I love you all.
Thank
I
you.
love you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marcia, can you do a prayer? Pray us
Yeah.
out.
Woo, my.
Good to see you, Carol Ruth.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
yes. Heavenly Father, we know this was not an accident.
Mhm.
Know this was ordained by you, and that we would come together this morning with separate visions but united passions. Bless everyone here today, dear God. Bless their hearts, bless their minds, bless their bodies, bless their souls. Give them the vision that you have imbued in them, dear God. Make their crooked path straight so that they will go forth and achieve everything that you have destined them to do. We thank you already. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And thank you
Amen.
so much.
Amen.
Thank
Amen.
you.
Thank
Have
you.
a great
Happy
rest of
Easter.
your weekend.
Yes,
You
Happy
too.
Easter to
You
everyone.
Bye,
too.
guys.
Okay.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
bless.
Thank
Happy
you all.
Easter.
Easter.
Yes,
Celebrate.
happy Easter.
God bless.
God is risen.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll connect you, Coletta, with Madeline.
You know what? I just want to tell you now, that I had this push between this meeting and being physically in the church this morning.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
and you know what? I prayed on it because see, I'm doing the invocation prayer in the service tomorrow. And the meeting also was a connection with the women's ministry and singing. And because I sing in a choir, which I haven't done for a while because of my oral surgery. But the bottom line is I would get too nervous between the singing and coming down and doing the invocation and going back. The Lord told me that you need to be a PW. And that's why I texted you last night and said, I keep trying to register, but it's kicking me out.
Oh,
And my brother, he was even gonna come here at 8 o'clock in the morning so I could get over to the church at 9 because we're sharing the car. And it's my car, but his car got totaled. But anyway, I just want you to know, Valerie, it was God driven. I needed everything that happened.
Wow. I am so happy.
I love it.
It was so
Hallelujah.
amazing.
Hallelujah.
And I remember when Madeline, she'd been working so hard.
Mm.
Can you imagine? Oh, the
Yeah.
lives are gonna save.
Yeah.
And before we had the meeting, I was going through trying to find, because you told me to put it in the email. I ran across the picture that you took with all of us on stage when we got the philanthropy award. Me and my mom, when we were in not Castro Valley, but we were on the
Oh,
other.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and they took that big group picture.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen it, but at some point you sent it to me. And that's what came up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, God was speaking to you. Get on the
Yes.
call.
They get on the call.
That's so amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, because I was so surprised to see you text me this
Exactly.
morning and ask for the call information. Because last night you said you couldn't be it because you had this
Yes.
and that and that. And I said, okay, have a great meeting. And I'm going like, she's going to be on the call.
Guess what? They called and they said, I'm on Zoom till 12 noon. And what time is it?
It's 3 minutes to 12.
See? I know that's not but God.
Oh,
I love you so. And I'm telling you, oh my God, I could just feel it. We pushing through.
Yeah, we are.
oh yeah.
Yeah, Marion, Carletta went to the fashion show too that I told you
Oh
about.
my God, it was fun.
Oh, was it fun?
Oh my God, and my mom was with me. My mom is 86.
Uh-huh.
But it's glamorous, okay? And
Yeah.
we always went to fashion shows for Ebony Fashion Fair and all that. And yeah, At one point, she was a model in her younger.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
also she's also an opera.
Your mom?
An opera singer?
Yeah.
An opera singer? Your mom. Wow.
Yes.
Incredible.
So in between all that and that business mind, right? Just like me, I'm a violinist. I went to conservatory of music, all that.
Yeah.
But I
Oh, okay.
chose law because I didn't think you could do both. Then I
Yeah.
found out later that
You
some of
could
the
do both.
best, yes, they're musically inclined because when they were talking about stimulating the brain,
Yeah.
Yes.
that's what it was doing. And
Yep.
it brought that brilliance forward.
Yep.
Just like when she was talking about the water and swimming.
Yep.
And I changed his son's life, yeah.
I took 8 years of piano and 8 years of voice, and I won a music scholarship to college for my voice. But I got married instead and didn't go. But I've been in 5 bands in the last 15 years.
I bet you have.
It's been fun. I love singing. Yeah.
Yeah, I sing in the choir through the church. But,
Yeah, I did that too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Years and years. Yeah.
But
I
that
was even a summer
creativity.
counselor. Hmm?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I forget who was mentioning that, but yeah, I did it one summer.
Uh,
So rewarding, leading the
Yeah.
kids
Yes.
amongst the class. It's something. And I just feel as though right now, humanitarians like us are so needed.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of changes that I know that are coming about. And it's gonna get a little chaotic this year.
Gonna be a little tricky.
Yep. So we have to pray our way through this, but you know what? We're the solution.
We
Mhm.
are.
We are the solution.
Yes, we are.
And the sooner that we get that in our minds, that we are the solution, and God is empowering us to fix what humanity has broken.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what president in office, God has already ordained us to
Oh,
make
yeah.
a difference.
And scripture is manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
Way.
All over.
I mean, we're in the end times.
Yes.
And you can see it.
You can definitely see it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Colette,
pray
I
that-
wanted to keep reminding you to get on a call on Thursdays with Ernie so you could get your $1,000.
Oh, that's right. And you know what? My Thursdays are opening up because see what happened was with the Behavioral Health Commission, they even tried to put me in a situation where I go back to being president for a year while these new commissioners are coming forward. And I told them, I said, you know what? I will mentor you all. Go
I'll
ahead.
mentor you. I'm not
I'll
gonna.
mentor
There you
you.
go.
You know, and bring in the new, and we'll
Mhm.
be 100% behind you. You know, and you take on those 2 years, and as you do what needs to be done, because that Prop 1 and all the changes in behavioral health now, oh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For the climate, God put me in these connections and the work that I do around the children. See, Sojourner, we've been in existence 35 years. My mother founded
Wow.
up. And, what our mentoring is that it takes an entire village to raise entire village. And that's why I created Saving the Dream. Because not only do we have to be in the village, we have to dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know I'm in the right place. From the day I saw you, Valerie, and we were there with all those domestic violence.
No, it's human
and
trafficking.
And human trafficking.
Mhm.
Because I do both sides of it. And
So I had Marion to give you. I had gone to a human trafficking event in San Francisco, and I was sitting, and Pauletta came through the door with these beautiful flowered pants. They were so gorgeous.
Oh.
And I looked at it, and God told me, he said, go and talk to this one.
Huh?
So on the break, I went and I spoke to her, told her what we were doing. And we had lunch at the Cliff House. That's
Mhm.
now closed.
Yeah,
But we had lunch at the Cliff House and we've been ever since.
together ever since.
She immediately became a member. And that was some years ago.
It's amazing what happens when you listen to that little voice.
Yeah.
It says you need to go talk to her, and your own mind says, what? I don't need to go talk to her, but
Right.
you're listening. Yeah. It's like, you know, how you and I came together, Valerie. You know, it was just
God
fortuitous,
sent.
right out of nowhere. And the funny thing is,
Where were
you
you
know,
guys at?
Well, I had Dr. Honeycutt was looking for someone to do the cover of her book, and
That's right. That's it.
I asked a
Remember
friend
that?
of mine, and she recommended Marion.
Mm-hmm.
And all I knew Marion did graphics and was working with Dr. Honeycutt. And that's all I knew about it. We had spoken this a couple of words. Hi, how you doing? And I'm glad you're working on Dr. Honeycutt, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Pam used to do all our editing, but Pam
That's
got
right.
busy. Yeah.
I
Pam
remember Pam.
got really busy with doing other things internationally with us,
Mm-hmm.
and also taking on more work because she's running, her sister has a lab. They test all of the hospitals in the US.
What?
Yeah, they
Oh.
test all the hospitals. They do the blood work for diseases that people can't find and stuff like that. So she has a biochemical lab or something like that. But Pam helped run the lab. And especially during COVID, they got, they were in demand. So they go through the hospitals and they certify them for cleanliness and meeting all the criterias and stuff like that. So anyway, Pam got more busier and working with PWIC worldwide. And so she said, Val, you just can't do the editing too. And Pam is really good. So I was like, I had someone that was doing some editing. She was a teacher and she knew how to do some things, but it wasn't what
What
I
you
want.
needed.
I needed that person
Extra.
to give insight and like really write, not just
Mhm.
edit, to bring something to the table. And so I was just like, this lady is really nice, but it's not it. And I was on my bed in tears. I said, I was so sad. I said, God, please. I said, I need an editor. I need someone to do the editing, somebody that could match who we are. God said, call Marion. I said, Marion. And I didn't know she did editing. So I called her and I said, hi, Marion. She went, huh? That's how she is.
Yes, because she's so energetic.
She is. Even when she's sick, she be throwing up. So sick. And then you call and she go home.
That's the God in her.
Yeah. And so I said, Marion, I said, I have a question. I said, she said, sure. I said, do you do editing? And she got quiet and I was going like, oops, I asked the wrong question. And she said, editing? I'm the best of the best. She said, I'm the best
Go
of the
ahead,
best
Mary.
at editing. She said, I've edited top magazines. I edit newspapers.
Edit anything.
Like,
yeah.
she said, that's my gift. I said, well, would you mind doing some editing for us? She went, oh, yeah, I guess so. So,
And here we are 5 years
and here
later.
we are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A match made in heaven. Oh my God.
So that's why we don't promote membership, because we don't know who we're going to get in.
Right.
We
Oh
allow
no, you very
God to
careful.
send it.
I understand. But you know what? For the magnitude of the work, need to be careful.
Yeah, we have to be careful. We don't
Have to
want
be
the
careful.
devil in, because sometimes the devil come in sheep clothing.
Exactly. Pretending like it's all good. And next thing you
And
know.
then you next door, they want to bite your head off. So
Be sure and stop recording.
That's true.
Sorry.
Sorry, Joanne.